Hello and welcome to another Women's Network Australia member interview in this series. And today it is your time to shine, Siobhan Whalley. Hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me, Sigrid. I'm really excited to share.
It's fantastic to have you as the Managing Director of pirkx Australia, and you are dedicated to providing affordable well-being and mental health support to business. Now, there's a lot of different things that I have seen that you do, and I want to touch on some of those. But first of all, let's start with, what is pirkx, Siobhan?
Thank you. So pirkx is wellbeing benefits on demand by subscription. So we're a little bit different to what has historically been available in the market. We are available by the month, so you can pay as you go, $6 per month, and give meaningful support to yourself and your employees in any size organization.
Fantastic. And so it's a range of different type of support, isn't it? Name one that would be really good for me that I'm not aware of just yet. Tell me one.
So well-being is made up of 5 components. So there's the health, wealth, recognition, education, and social. And that's the dictionary definition of all the components that make up happy, healthy humans. For me, the forefront of what we do is the health feature. So we offer EAP, which is known as Employee Assistance Programs, if you're not familiar with the acronym. And that is 24/7 phone counselling with psychologists, counsellors, support workers, legal and financial guidance, included in the cost of your membership for you and your immediate household. So really far-reaching impact for support as far as EAP goes.
That is fantastic. And it is something really in the times we are in is so needed because of all the changes in the world, the changes in work scenarios, and the changes within ourselves as well, which happen as, as a result of what's happening out there. So I could imagine there's quite a demand on that. How did you come up with this idea to put this together? Or, how did you get into this, Siobhan?
So credit to our founder and CEO, Stella Smith, over in the UK. She headed up pirkx with Craig Caveney, the co-founder. They found a gap in the market worldwide that unless you're a large organization, you weren't able to access things like rewards recognition, but employee assistance programs. They were either too expensive or out of reach completely. So historically, if you were a small to medium business, there was nothing you could offer at an affordable rate. Here, I got into it because it really does mean a lot to me to be able to offer that sort of support. And we're challenging and changing the mental stigma around accessing help. It is completely anonymous to access for the employees, which takes away all the red flags or alarm bells for some people to get help earlier on. And I think it's important to have the conversation about it's okay to not be okay. And for me to know that the workplace supports that and will create happier, healthier humans means that the organization will be more productive in the long run as well.
I think that is such an important point that you just raised there. It is okay not to be okay. I think there's still a lot of stigma around that, not feeling well, having to hide that, perhaps taking days off, sick days, and just not talking about what's really going on. To bring that out into the open and have that support is absolutely fantastic. I commend you on having jumped into that and providing that. That is absolutely wonderful. Now, you're doing other things as well. I saw that you are, or that you have just come back from some mission. Tell us about what that is about, or what that was about. You went to a humanitarian mission, Uganda, is that correct? Did I get that
correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you've done your homework. Thank you. Contribution is a big part of me as a person. My partner and I just recently, in March of this year, went over to Uganda on a humanitarian mission. We support an organisation called KCM, so Champezi Childcare Ministries. So I went to the sanctuary, the rehabilitation centre, and worked with the children there. My partner worked on building the hospital, so the rehabilitation centre for the medical support over there. It is a cause near and dear to my heart. There's some real human rights violations going on in a number of countries. I do support a number of things here in Australia, but that was something that I wanted to go over and experience and be able to firsthand contribute and help. It was such a rewarding experience, and if anyone has the opportunity to do the same in any other organization, I highly urge you to take the opportunity.
And I think that is such a valuable thing for us to do when we are in a position to. So I love that you're doing that, you did that, and you have a partner who's doing that with you, which is great. It kind of sort of really cements a relationship as well. I could imagine the experiences that you come across on such a mission.
Thank you. And it's about alignment for me. So pirkx's mission about helping people and contributing to a better world, having a partner that's aligned with what I want to do, out there in the real world and help people firsthand. All of these things, I feel like I'm in my place, the right place for me now, where I am able to use the opportunities I have to make things better for everybody around us. And if we all do that, it's going to be such a win-win.
Absolutely. That is fantastic. And I guess part of this, what this is all about, plays into you becoming a member of the Women's Network. What is sort of one takeaway so far for you from being in that Women's Network Australia as a member?
Thank you. Look, things had changed for me actually. Joining the Women's Network, I had moved, into a managing director role, and I was looking for support for a network to find like-minded people to share experiences. And from my first webinar call with, Cheryl and the other members, I felt so welcome. It was such an inclusive environment. I was a bit nervous, as some people are, as I would, naturally am, joining a, large group of people I've never met before. And it has just been so rewarding. I can pick up the phone and talk to anybody at any time. And I actually was chosen to take on the Her Transformation program. So I applied amongst another number of members, and I was chosen to win the Her Transformation program from Navigate Biz, run by Joanne Brooks. And that, again, has been such a rewarding experience. I've been put through a number of different facets of training. So from public speaking to dressing the right way for my shape, my color palette, to how I manage my team and their personality profiles. It has been just so much that I've taken in that has been really, really rewarding. And all because I went to that first webinar with the Women's Network.
How fantastic is that? Sometimes something really is a good fit, isn't it? And I think the Women's Network Australia, everybody who's part of it, the members, Cheryl, of course, leading it really are there to be open, to be inclusive, and to want to make those connections and support each other. Fantastic. I'm so glad you have that experience with it so far. And I'm sure you talk about that out there to other women that might also want to come and experience that, because you have yourself, I would imagine, quite a network through the work alone that you're doing through the pirkx network.
Yes, absolutely. And from this level of kind of contact with business owners and organizations, you really do hear in the way that companies speak of their like-minded businesses. From my interactions with Cheryl, it is about where can we benefit our members the most. And same with the organizations that we support their employees. It's how can we best support our employees for the best outcome. And those kind of mindsets, and especially from Cheryl, you can just tell that she has all the members at heart, and it's always about how can we improve our members, organizations' lives, and make everything a bit easier.
And do the next thing. That is fantastic. Now, you are a finalist of the Impact Awards. How did that come about? Tell us a little bit about that. Did you volunteer yourself to be there? Were you, was it suggested to you? How did that come about? Tell us a bit.
Oh, I'm so grateful to be a nominee in the Impact Awards. It's overwhelming. One of my team put me forward for the nomination. So we've got our UK global team, and the head of marketing put that nomination forward. they it's funny how people see you in a different light to how you see yourself. A lot of the time I think, I'm just, I'm getting through things, and I love my job, but sometimes you can get a bit task orientated. To see their perspective of what I'm able to achieve and see yourself in another light is just ever so rewarding. And the fact that it was acknowledged by the Women's Network is even more of an asset to me to be able to take on. I guess I've taken this on. This role is more than a role to me. So it's not a position, it's actually my tool to do the work, do my difference in the world. So I guess because of that, the way I do things is probably a little bit different, and I try and make sure that every point of contact with anything to do with Pirkx, but also with myself, is always a positive experience, or people are left better off from that interaction. So yeah, that's shone through in this award nomination, and I'm absolutely delighted to be a nominee. Thank you.
It's exciting. Yeah, it's exciting. So you're looking forward to, when the event comes about, and you're going to be part of it. You're going to meet all the others, and you're going to meet, of course, as many members as are going to come and join the special event when that happens. So that is really exciting. And I think it's exactly something that a lot of women, I think, experience, that we see ourselves the way we do, but that doesn't mean others don't see much more of us, much broader, sometimes many more facets of who we are. I think that is wonderful. And you certainly have that, that drive that comes across as to how you share your insights and how you answer the interview right now. That is absolutely wonderful. When we're coming back to being in the Pirkx network, being there to move forward with that, is there something that you would share with the world, with the members of the Women's Network, that is really important to you, that maybe not everybody is aware of, that they can get from that network? You've talked about the teams, you've talked about employees who are not feeling so good getting that support. What would be a big point from your perspective that you'd like to share with us? Something come to mind?
Yeah, look, Cheryl and I and Beck, we've had some really great conversations about what Pirkx is and what the Women's Network is, and how those two platforms actually marry up so beautifully. So the Women's Network have implemented Pirkx for their members. So it's an opportunity to actually access that and see what it's like as a user to have all of that support. Also the savings on cost of living. There's lots of things that stress us out. So whether you're ready to pick up the phone or actually just save some money and take a bit of stress off, you've got access to all of that. But it's about knowing things are accessible and taking advantage of these platforms where you have the opportunity to shine like this. Thank you so much, Sigrid. But on that point, but also in a slightly different aspect, I personally train the team members in an organization when they take on Pirkx, because it's a tough conversation sometimes when we're touching on things like mental health, and then we're having a conversation about getting a discount at the cinema. So it's about having the conversation about being okay not to be okay, but also how Pirkx is such a tool and an asset for the whole family to access these things, but changing the way that we think about all of these parts of our well-being. We see people laugh and dance, and we don't go and stop them, but if we see someone crying, we immediately want to make sure they're okay, but stop them crying. It's kind of channeling all of these facets of being okay in whatever our state is, and working through that and having a really positive environment to support any of these things that pop up, and actually processing properly, which is a big takeaway I had from Uganda. Taking the time to be in the moment is probably the biggest part for any business owner, employee, organization. Just be in the moment.
I think that is hugely important, be in the moment, because often we are not, just in the environment that we are in these days. On social media alone, you're constantly scrolling through the feed there, so you're not in the moment. Everything just swishes past you, and it's no wonder that we kind of not really stop and think and feel. I think feeling is a big thing as well, that we haven't really taken on in these rushed times, because we want to see the next thing and the next thing. So it sounds like a really important step to take, to get to know what is there and how you can best use it in your life, with your family, in your business. That's what I'm hearing from you. Yes?
Absolutely. Pirkx has a far-reaching, meaningful impact for individuals, households, communities, families, the whole
Absolutely wonderful. And you said another very interesting and very important part as well. It's all very well to join in when we see happy people, when we are, when we think, oh, that person's laughing, that person's dancing, even out in the street, we might go and join them. But if they are crying, if somebody is sad, and unfortunately, often we don't even see that in a person, and they might just be quiet somewhere in the background. And it is so important to be there for those people as well. Yeah, and so really being aware of what the Pirkx network offers could be a great way of bringing people to it so that they can have that support, is what I'm hearing from you. That is wonderful. Siobhan, you have got so much there to offer and to go. You are part of the Women's Network to connect with all the members that are there and to offer them what your Business Pirkx offers there for it. I want to bring you to a point right now where we are giving our listeners, our people that are watching this now, a tip or an idea or something that speaks to you at the moment inside that you want to leave as the impression as we move on and finish this off today in this session with you. Something come to mind for you on the spur of the moment that you would like to share? You've got so much to say. Go ahead.
It's really important to be engaged, and that means a number of different things when we use that word. But with me and my team here, I engage with them on a personal level, emotionally, and in the work that we do on a daily basis. And I think it's the same with all the people around me, that I make the effort to have that time for us to share our feelings, to have fun activities, but also to, again, as I said, be however you are that day, that time. If we take the time to process these things, to have that meaningful time together that's not about work or about the next task we're moving on to, or about our next holiday, we have that deep meaningful time. It makes everything that little bit smoother by opening up some of those conversations when the time comes that someone might need a hand, or they need a bit of support, or they want to work with another colleague, or have a bit of a project turnaround on certain things. You've created the environment for that to be a really positive experience, and to be the first one to know as a leader. We are all leaders, and it's up to all of us to give everything a soft landing, to create the environment that it's really a positive experience for all of your colleagues, for your teammates, for your employees. So I think that's it. And look, I'm a phone call away for anyone in the Women's Network if you ever want to have one of those conversations about engagement with your team, or any possible sort of building experiences that, I would welcome the opportunity to support fellow members.
To be there. Yep, to be there, to lend a hand, to be supporting. That is absolutely fantastic. I thank you so much, Siobhan, for the opportunity to speak with you, to share who you are, what you do, and as a member of the network, that you are there for everyone. Thank you for letting me shine the light on you today, the time to shine the light on you. And signing off for today is Sigrid, Kaste, Women's Network Australia Ambassador on. Thank you, Siobhan Whalley, for this today.
Thank you so much.